The floor is open. Any questions, any comments uh, for Fablan?
Jeff bowing in. Faplan, I thank you so much for sharing your personal journey. I love hearing people's personal journeys, especially when it is kind of how they got into and progressed on the path of Buddhism. And you kind of took some more serious, committed steps and vows than most of us. And it is interesting that 2014 you kind of highlight as a real entry with taking the five precepts, and I applaud you for moving what I think is right through the phases to where you are. It's wonderful. My question is, could you back up just a little bit more? I'm just wondering, when you were in kind of your normal life, I guess, as a teacher, and then perhaps not as a teacher anymore, how did you first come to Buddhism, and what was that like? Just curious. Thank you.
Well, the short version is that I was born and raised in the Roman Catholic tradition, went to Catholic schools, was a very sincere practitioner, as you might imagine. You are who you are, right? And so I left the church at some point because it no longer served me and did not. It was no longer my matched my value system of values and so forth, as I'm sure many of you have discovered in your lives. And so then I went through like 25 years of absolutely no, that was it. No more religion for me. No, thank you. Meanwhile, things were percolating. When then I finally came to a little bit of an awakening and realized that my spiritual life was non-existent. And that was part of I was having some serious difficulties. And that was really the crux of the matter. So I began to search for a place to open that up again and practice. And I was a Barnes and Noble Buddhist and a Barnes and Noble everything else for quite a while, Barnes and Noble Theosophy, Barnes and Noble Rosicrucian. I mean, I've been everywhere. Barnes and Noble Paramhansa Yogananda, taking all those classes, everything, I'm so searching, and doing a lot of reading and counter Buddhism in that way, but never anything formal. So then I went for 15 years to an alternative kind of Christianity. That was, and that was the Unity movement, which is a new thought religion. And it's very, no respectable Christian would call it Christian. That's why I really liked it. And that served me very well for many years, 15 years. And I was on the road to ministry there and realized, nope, I can't go there. This isn't it. So then I started thinking for about 5 more years, what would I do? And I decided I would do nothing, but I would find a meditation group, and that's it. And I found the meditation group at Fat Gwen Temple. And the rest is history. The end. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you. It's a wonderful answer.
Richard, bowing in. What I got from your talk, your Dharma talk, is that you said, I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know throughout your talk. And that's great because look, I'm a big soccer fan, and if I don't watch the game because I could just easily not watch it and get the scores after, but I wanted that experience of not knowing who's going to make the shot, who's going to do this, and who's going to do that, and I think because the thing that you you've expressed to me and that I got from your story is that not knowing is okay. And it's that being able to be mindful and letting go and figuring out, oh, wait a minute, this is okay, this worked out, so and so that just kind of reinforced that not knowing for me. So thank you.
Thank you, Richard.
As someone who has had the privilege of seeing this lotus develop from the very beginning, um, I've always been amazed, Fablan, by your dedication, your desire to become a bodhisattva, and your ability to withstand a lot of very stressful times in which that lotus flower was battered, sort of testing her determination and a dedication, and not only to continue, but to bloom in such a beautiful way. So, thank you.
And thanks for helping me through those tough times. All of you who did so. Thank you.
So again, thank you so much for this very inspirational sharing of your journey. I wonder if you have one particular vow that you find particularly difficult to live by, and one that's your favorite.
My
That
favorite.
like
Those 4 great bodhisattva vows are my favorites. I
okay.
think that's what drew me into this. And also I landed in a Mahayana tradition, which has suited me perfectly. I mean, I knew nothing about where I was going or where I was landing, but this was a place for me. So yeah, those are my favorites. And what's the hardest? I guess, I think mindful speech. If I shut my mouth more, I have better luck there. But that's something I have to struggle with still. Because it stems from it's still, I guess I mentioned anger was a terrible issue for me for so long, and I have lingering aspects of that, which usually manifest as irritation. So that's, I still, that's very, I still work on that. I wouldn't say it's so hard. I mean, it's just something that's, one of my areas that needs to be transformed quite a bit more. And so, yeah, I have to work on that more. I think that, I'm sure there's plenty more, but that's the first one that came to mind.
Thank you. I think you and I need to get together so that we can work on that one, because that's one of my favorite difficult ones.
We'll get together in noble silence. That will work.
Anyone else?
Janet bowing in. Fablan, thank you so much for all your teachings this morning and your transparency and sincerity of heart. I really appreciate listening to all your talks. Keep on that path, girl.
Thank you.
Janet bowing out.
And Jeff bowing in again. Another question. So just as you've kind of proceeded on this path, having grown up a Western Catholic, um, and just thinking about kind of family and friends and how they may have adjusted or not, or I'm just wondering if you could share a little bit of any particular challenges you've had there. I think most of us as Buddhists who started in a Western culture have had challenges explaining, even simple things. Well, I don't really drink anymore, or I don't eat anymore. And, me with my mom, who I love dearly, saying, "Well, it just has a little meat in the sauce, so it's okay." I said, "No, Mom, it's really not."
In Spain, they'll tell you, well, pork is a vegetable.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
taking the robes, shaving your head, there are some things there, the rest of us can pass if we want to, but you've taken that visible step.
Yes,
So,
that's hilarious.
yeah. So I just wondered if you could share a little bit about those challenges and
Well,
how you're.
first of all, I've always been a little odd, and my family is very used to that. Kind of always, there was always a different drummer going on in my head. So they love me, and my daughter, it's the same way. They're used to me, and they love me, and so nothing will surprise them, and they're fine with that. My brother, who's a born again Christian now, and all of that, he was right there at my novice ordination. So everybody. But I will say this: my sister-in-law, his wife, Connie, she's used to me now. But boy, right right after I had that head shaving ceremony, it just so happened the dear woman, my friend Dorothy, I was taking care of for 7 years. She died that day. I came home from the ceremony, said goodbye to her niece who was standing in for me, and repositioned Dorothy in the bed, went and locked the door, came back in, and Dorothy had died. Same day. I hadn't even gotten out of those robes that I had on, So where was I going with that one? What was the question? Oh, yeah. Okay, so right after that, my brother, in all his kindness, he told me and my friend Margaret, who is her sister, Dorothy's sister, said, "You all need a break. Why don't you come and visit us?" They bought us a plane ticket and took us there and pampered us. Well, here I was with my bald head for the first time, and it was in December. And so we were going to go out to dinner, have a family dinner. My poor sister-in-law, Connie, I could see her little wheels starting struggling. Goes, "Isn't your head, aren't you cold? Why don't you put this hat on?" I'm never cold. I'm hot. I'm always hot. I kept saying, no, I'm not. I'm not cold. After about 4 or 5 times, I realized the poor woman would rather see a woman, I don't know, in a Santa Claus hat in a restaurant. She would see this bald head. So by golly, all those pictures of us there, I had a Santa Claus hat on. So that was, that was a funny story. But, seriously, my family is very loving and accepting. And, I sent my daughter a copy of this, Stepping into Freedom. And so now she doesn't want it. She goes, "Well, you're not going to fly first class." Anyway. So, my family's great. No problem.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you.
It pays to be odd from day one. Then they're just like, I remember one time my mother, I was going to change my name. So thank God I finally got some Dharma names, right? So I was always looking for some meaning. I was going to change my name. And one of my friends said to my mother, "Oh, I found this out later. How do you feel about that? The Kathy wants to change her name." My mother said, "She can call herself Tinkerbell for all I care." She's fine. Everybody's good with whatever I do.
Thank you, Kathy. That was great. Some of you may know that Kathy is staying with us right now. and for which I'm profoundly grateful, because I recently had surgery and I never have anything like that in my history of ill health of any kind ever. Um, but now that I had surgery, I'm not allowed to do anything, and Kathy has been amazingly helpful to be here. So, Kathy, that was a wonderful talk today. Even though many things I thought I knew, there were many things I didn't know. So I particularly thank you for how much you shared with all of us today. I mean, truly profoundly wonderful. I just thank you from the bottom of my heart. So as soon as we sign off here, I'll see you in person, since you are living here at the moment. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.
Anyone else that hasn't shared would like to share?
This is Dave. No questions, but just a lot of gratitude for you sharing your story with us and walking us through all the different principles and teachings that you've worked with and the process that you've gone through. Thank you very much.
Okay, seeing that there are no more comments or questions, we're going to close this session. And after the bell, Conrad is going to lead us in the sharing of the merits. And then we're going to have announcements. We're not going to chant these merits. Conrad is going to chant from his side.
Or whichever you prefer. Yes.
No, go ahead, Conrad.
Oh, thank you. I just, as we listen to the bell, I hope that we invited the Buddha and our ancestors and Thai and the Dharma and the Sangha into our heart as we help our dear father, brother, to continue on. And so I'd just like to say that, dear Mr. Hong Van Wei, may you gracefully lie in state. Rest easy for the journey to come. Breathing in, bowing to the ancient mystery. Breathing out, surrendering to the great swirling wonder. Rest in peace, dear Mr. Hong Van Wei. And courage, Father. You are not alone. We will walk with you and sing your spirit home. May the merits of this practice benefit all beings and bring peace. Blessings to you.
This concludes our session for today, and I'm very, very grateful to you, Fab, for this wonderful, profound, and inspirational sharing of your journey. I was deeply enriched by your experience. And thank you, everyone, Jeff and Conrad, for your contributions today. I'm glad to see David. Welcome, David. It's good to see you. So now the announcements. I just want to remind everyone that I'm still collecting articles. I'm still collecting um, your writings so that we can put it together and create this wonderful book for the Dharma Teacher Order, um, uh, written by Dharma Teacher Order teachers and priests and students. So please remember that. I'm still waiting. I'm still open, and I'll welcome your work if you want to discuss it before you submit it. I'm open to that too, so we can have a conversation. And I'm looking forward to submissions. And that's a special call to Fernando. Also, we, as we discuss this wonderful themes of vows and precepts and ethics, um, we want to continue to open the space so that we can see how these elements of Buddhism can be applied in our lives, and in how can we help other people um, apply them as well, live by these principles. When we do our meditation, when we teach meditation, when we guide meditation for individuals that are either not Buddhist or who have some knowledge of Buddhism but are not real practitioners like some of us or some of you are, some things sometimes occur during the meditation that we really are not prepared to manage. Um, we are not prepared to understand. We don't have enough knowledge to support it or to guide it, and in many cases we might be stepping out of our boundaries as Dharma teachers, as meditation teachers, and we kind of come into this boundary. We cross the boundary of becoming therapists or some sort of mental health um, helpers. Sometimes that's not the most convenient, but sometimes that is also needed. So, in order to prepare us and help us understand a little bit more on how mindfulness affects the mind and how emotions and feelings and thoughts and experience can become an obstacle to certain people, we're going to have our next session, which is on January 15th, I believe. We are going to have a presentation by Richard Zipoli. He's going to talk to us about trauma-informed mindfulness. And we're going to, I'm not certain whether we're going to do like a two-session a series, but January will be the first session, and if we do a two-session series, the second session will be in February. So it is important that we understand trauma and the role that plays in our lives, in other people's lives, and to also understand that sometimes mindfulness in and of itself, just by itself, sometimes is not enough, and sometimes, in fact, could trigger symptoms of trauma and re-traumatize people. So it is important that we become aware of that, and that we know what we can do to be helpful rather than, uh, harm. That's one of the main principles of our practice: do no harm. So, Fernando, did you want to say something?
Just a reminder that our end of year retreat will be on April 21st to 24th, starting on a Thursday through Sunday. It's going to be very busy 4 days because we had to catch up with a lot of ordinations and ceremonies. So please circle it in your calendars. And for those of you who are interested, we're having our second DTO silent retreat at Mariondale on March 4th to 6th, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And anybody's is welcome. We're trying to our retreats in December and April tend to be at times strongly influenced by social gatherings, since we don't see each other that frequently, or business related things that we need to take care of. So a lot of us felt that we still needed to supplement our retreats with just plain silent retreats, and we're trying to get that done one every 6 months. So our next one will be March. Anybody who wants to come, please come. Let Teo Castellanos is the one who's in charge of arranging this, but you can either let Teo or myself know that you're interested, and we'll reserve you a spot. We try to limit it to 10 to 15 people only, mostly because we're still recovering from the COVID pandemic. But so those are my only two announcements, and it's so great to see you all again.
Just wanted to add to what Fernando said. I was very fortunate to be able to attend the first silent retreat that we had, and it was one of the most nourishing experiences ever. It was so wonderful to be together in that way with members of this wonderful Sangha. So if you're able, I would encourage you to attend. I think you'll find it a very rich experience.
Okay. I think that does it for us today. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. Enjoy the holidays coming up. Have a safe and happy Christmas, and certainly a wonderful new year with gifts and hopes and dreams. And may they all come true.
Yeah, thank you to you also, Elena, and everyone.
Thank you. You can unmute yourselves.
Bye, dear Sangha. See you soon.
Bye.
Till next
Good
time.
weekend.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Conrad.
Thank you, Elena,
That
for
was
allowing me.
wonderful.
Thank you for your kindness. Thank you.
Thank you.